Imagine driving down a dark, icy American highway at 70 miles per hour. Suddenly, the vehicle directly in front of you spins out. You are sliding straight toward a solid concrete barrier. This timeline illustrates our baseline limits. Visually processing a threat takes 0.25 seconds. Signaling your foot to brake takes another 0.25 seconds. At highway speeds, traveling over 100 feet per second, the impact marker arrives before you react. A crash is mathematically guaranteed. But then, the screeching tires fade out. The shattering glass from the car ahead suspends in midair. The entire environment enters extreme slow motion, and you observe every single detail with terrifying clarity. For decades, scientists dismissed this hyper-detailed sensation as a post-traumatic memory glitch, a trick where the brain simply over-remembered the event after it was over. But modern research has confirmed it is a real-time event. This is Tachypsychia, a high-level biological override that completely reorganizes your neural pathways for the sole purpose of survival. Exactly 0.1 seconds into a lethal event, your amygdala, the brain's primitive threat detection center, calculates that death is imminent. It instantly hijacks your normal operating systems. The amygdala immediately floods your bloodstream with a massive dose of adrenaline and norepinephrine to force the body into a state of hyperarousal. This chart shows how your standard visual perception operates. Your brain processes visual information like a standard camera, taking about 24 to 60 pictures per second to create a smooth, continuous video of reality. That emergency chemical cocktail instantly overclocks your processing speed. Your brain abandons the baseline and begins recording hundreds of frames per second, capturing minute environmental details like the angle of the incoming car and the reflection of light on the ice. You're absorbing a massive surplus of data in the exact same physical window of time. Because there is suddenly so much more information to process, your subjective experience of time stretches out. The clock on the dashboard is ticking at the exact same rate, but your brain is weaponizing its data intake to grant your logical mind the crucial milliseconds needed to react. The true scale of this phenomenon was documented far away from civilian highways, in the extreme environments of Cold War aerial combat. Military engineers faced a severe biological bottleneck. Jet dogfights were occurring at supersonic speeds, meaning a pilot was technically dead before their conscious mind could even register a missile launch. Humans had built machines that pushed beyond natural biological limits. The United States military began investigating these encounters to understand how pilots were surviving situations that should have been physically impossible. In declassified debriefings, pilots who walked away from near-fatal supersonic crashes consistently reported the same anomaly. They described incoming missiles appearing to simply float through the air in slow motion. Inside a physical window of less than 1.5 seconds, these pilots utilized this dilated time to systematically check their instrument panels, calculate their trajectory, and physically pull the ejection handle. These highly trained individuals turned a fatal fraction of a second into an expanded, playable chessboard. Our perception of time isn't tied to the ticking of a clock. It is a byproduct of how much information our brains are actually recording. This explains why childhood feels incredibly slow. A child's brain is constantly recording massive amounts of data to learn from entirely new experiences. A single summer vacation feels incredibly long because every detail is captured. As an adult driving the exact same commute and completing the same daily tasks, your brain stops recording details to conserve energy. Routine effectively deletes time. Extreme danger forces your neural circuitry to fully awaken and record at maximum capacity, proving that your internal sense of time is shaped entirely by how much attention your brain is forced to pay. Back on the icy highway, the world snaps back to normal speed. You sharply turn the wheel, clear the vehicle, and safely bypass the barrier. By stretching that 1.5-second window, your brain provided the impossible margin of safety required to execute the maneuver and survive. Pay attention to your mental clock the next time you experience a mundane near miss. Whether you catch a falling glass in midair or trip on a staircase, you will feel that sudden stretch of silence. That split second of stillness is your ancient survival code waking up, proving that in your most desperate moments, your brain can compress and expand your perception of the world just to keep you alive.